Cancer. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late July 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancerian collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the Cancer collective in late July? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer late July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out here nice and quick for you. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, so I'd say this is one of the more optimistic cards in this Oracle deck that we're using today. All in the golden afternoon. Now, the image on it might look a little concerning. It does look a little creepy, but to me, it's just like super optimistic, laid back, and enjoying itself. So whether this is advice or energy that's coming your way, it's usually pretty good to me. I guess it depends on what you're going through, though. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So we see Alice sitting there. It's more of like a watercolor-esque type of scene. I think it's really nice. And when I think of a golden afternoon or spending time in the golden afternoon, I think of being outside with people I care about, just lounging, enjoying the weather, enjoying myself. So to me, this is a very leisure card. Now, for some of you, if you're going through some difficult things or any choppy waters, maybe Spirit's just asking you to enjoy yourself. Maybe you need to do some things that you enjoy doing to break up the monotony or heaviness in the energy. That can most definitely be the case when this card is here. Could be Spirit asking you to see the silver lining in a situation. But if this is the type of energy that could be coming towards you, that's what I really like, because it's like, wow, I enjoy this. This is really nice. So the way the energy is starting seems really good, which is usually nice. It could be foreshadowing for the rest of the reading, but I think we are off to a decent start here, my friends. Just make sure you're doing stuff that you enjoy to do. Like, okay, whether it's like out in nature, or some of you might like to spend some time at home, whatever it might be, as long as you're enjoying yourself. So we're just going to leave her over there. She could keep relaxing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. What do we got this week in late July? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So the title of last week's reading was a little concerning, because to me there was a lot of looking, a lot of watching going on. The reading was titled, They're Watching You. Now, for some of you Cancers out there, maybe there was a person, maybe there was a situation that you were keeping very close tabs on. Maybe someone was keeping tabs on you. Now, that doesn't always have to be creepy and weird. Sometimes it could be a work thing where they're like, all right, we're going to keep an eye on Cancer and check their performance. But there was like multiple layers of observation going on. So that's an energy that could bleed over for a couple weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Cancer. What do we got in late July, please? Thank you. All right, Hierophant. And it could be good. You know, I usually like a movement card in the first position, but this one seems pretty firm. Let's just get it tucked in right by the amethyst. Hopefully it's not like a stuck feeling. Hopefully that's not the case. Let's get a couple more. Let's get a couple more here. I mean, we're looking okay. There's a lot of communication coming in. All right, we have the Knight of Cups, which is one of your power cards. Big messenger, big communicator. And then right here on the back end, we have the beautiful Ace of Pentacles. We're looking good. I'm going to try not to get overly optimistic here, Cancer, but so far we're looking okay. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, I'm really liking the elemental mixture we have going on here, because as a water sign, these are all elements that can work well with your energy. Obviously, we have the water right here in the center with the Knight of Cups, one of your power cards. And yeah, you could just give us a little more information about what's coming towards you. We have big Earth, right? So we have the Hierophant, we have the Ace of Pentacles on the split ends of this. Now, Earth usually represents the material world, or work, money, business, homes, family, the world that surrounds us. So when we mix water and earth together, I always say it's a recipe for potential, abundance, and blessings. So initially, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here, and the fact that we have a lot of chit chat going on with the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. It's like a lot of talking, a lot of yapping around. So let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we are starting with the Hierophant. Now, I already mentioned I'm a little skeptical about this card. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just the way the energy moves. It's like it's almost still. Now, the Hierophant could mean a lot of things. It's one of the more complex cards in the whole entire tarot deck. For some of you, this could be a Taurus you're connected to. If that's not the case, when I see the Hierophant, I think of structure. I think of institutions. So we're talking about religious institutions, corporations, banks, governments, all that kind of stuff. We're talking about tradition. That's a big thing with this card, too. Like, we do it this way because we've always done it this way. It's like pretty much a set in stone type of energy within the box. Now, on a smaller scale, this can represent your day to day life, your routines, the time you wake up, when you do this, when you do that. I usually think that this is good for setting routines. So this is obviously not a bad card. It's not really flexible, though. That's the big issue that we run into with the Hierophant. It could also be very spiritual, very religious. That's a good thing whenever we see the Hierophant. But I would say the biggest challenge with this card, it could be very stubborn. So if it's a situation, if it's a person, if it's a problem, it's like something that seems to stick around. So we'll definitely want to look into this much further. Now, moving into the middle, we have a card that is really good for you. We have the Knight of Cups, one of the best knights in the whole entire deck. Now, obviously, this is big water sign energy, so this could represent you. Clarifier might just tell us something that's coming towards you or a way you might be feeling. It could be another water sign, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And knights are representative of action, what people do. Like, all right, am I going to make this move? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? The knights represent how they're doing it. And this is like probably the steadiest type of energy. It's not too slow like the Knight of Pentacles. It's not too fast like the Knight of Swords. It's like just right. Now, as far as people go, this could be like a Prince Charming type of person. It's charismatic. It's creative. It's emotionally expressive. When we're talking about communications, it's emotional expression. This card often shows up in love readings as well because it's a big indicator of deep emotional feeling. Now, the downside of this card, it could be all those energies clammed up, someone withholding those types of things. They want to say something, they're not going to say it. Like that type of back and forth. So we do want to look at it. Worst case scenario, sometimes it could be someone like playing off of our emotions. I'm not going to go and say that's the case. I like how it moves forward from this Hierophant, though, because we go from this very still energy into the Knight of Cups, where it's like, okay, this is moving along. And again, it could just be a talk, right? Like, I don't want to overcomplicate it. Now, on the back end, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Another pretty good card. Now, I always say all aces are offers and opportunities. It's a fresh, new energy that's coming in here. And obviously, talks and messages, that's a big thing. So, that is a theme we're seeing here, communication. This is a golden opportunity from the universe, specifically good for money, specifically good for career. It's a new path that can open up. So, what might be the downside of such a card? It's so fresh, it's not a guarantee, right? It's like a youthful type of energy. So, when we have the Hierophant, which is traditional, set in stone, this is the way it is, then we have the Ace of Pentacles, it's fleeting, where it's like, all right, if you don't take this opportunity, it could fly away. So we definitely want to see what's up. And then as far as communication goes, it could be the same thing as the Knight, where it could be someone clamming up or wanting to say something but choosing not to. So we definitely want to look at all this further. I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right. Let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Mr. Hierophant. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's see what the Hierophant has, please. Why is the Hierophant here? Thank you. Four of Cups. Someone trapped in their thoughts, trapped in like a thought loop. That's just how this is really presenting itself to me. Now, for some of you with the Four of Cups, it's daydreaming, it's imagining, it's manifesting. So when I see it with the Hierophant, it's like, no, I have to do something a certain way because that is how it's done. It's someone there, they could either have a very strict mindset about things. So just know there might be someone you're dealing with very much set in their ways. That's how they think, that's how they act, that's how it's always been, that's how they want it to always be. But the other thing I'm picking up here is like just in the mind, like there's something on my mind and I can't get it off my mind, no matter what I do. Okay, so again, whether that's a situation, whether it's a person, the Four of Cups is very daydreamy and imaginative. And notice it's not paying attention to anything else. Ace of Cups, notice we have the double aces. So those are the main two messages I'm picking up here. Either this is something that's like lodged in your mind that you can't stop thinking about it, or maybe that's how someone's feeling towards you. That's very possible. But then I also get this energy of someone where they're just set in their ways, where it's like, no, this is how it's always been. This is how it has to be. This is the way I view things, and this is how it needs to go down. Okay, I'm not saying whether that's a good or a bad thing. I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. Watch out for authority figures in this time as well. But we're just going to leave it at that. We're going to keep moving. I feel like we don't need to overcomplicate that. Very simple, straightforward. Let's get into the communicating energies, though. So let's see what's up with the Knight of Cups. So why is the Knight of Cups here for Cancer? Please. Quick, super quick. Queen of Cups. All right, so there is something that is better off being addressed as opposed to biting your tongue. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups, another one of your power cards. She's emotional. And when I see the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups, this is a beautiful alignment, first and foremost. So I like the way the energy goes. But to me, there's just so much chit chat. There's so much chatter going on here. So for some of you, there might either need to be an emotional talk or a serious talk. Because when I get these two cards together, it's like, no, don't suppress it. Don't hold it back. You will feel a lot better if you speak about it. So whether it's speaking about it to someone directly involved, whether it's speaking about it to just somebody else, like, hey, what would you do if you were in my position? Or, hey, I'm feeling this way. What would your advice be? Like, there's just something here about speaking to somebody else. So the Queen of Cups, she has double the emotional depth of any other card in the whole entire deck. She's maternal, she's caring, she's loving, she's super emotional. If she was in reverse, then I'd be like, all right, Cancer, maybe you might want to bite your tongue about something. Maybe you might not want to speak about that. But when I see her in the Knight of Cups in the upright, to me, it's either an emotional talk that's coming in or needs to be had, or one that is serious in nature, where it's like, no, you should talk about this. Like if it's on your mind, if there's something on your mind, if there's something bothering you, you should address it. Like don't suppress it. Okay, so whether it's with a person involved or even an outside party. So that's a big thing we're picking up here. We'll see what a potential response might be when we get to that Ace of Pentacles. But I feel like it's going to turn out well. I feel like it's going to turn out okay. Let's see what's up with the Ace of Pentacles. And we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So, why is that Ace of Pentacles here for my Cancer friends? Please. What's going on with that Ace of Pentacles? Thank you. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we do have the Four of Swords. For a lot of you, there is good energy coming in. So, especially those of you that have been having some choppy waters recently, when I see the Four of Swords in reverse underneath the Ace of Pentacles, it's like, oh, no. There's something good coming your way. It could be a win or a victory. Now, aside from that, if we're going to stick to the communication theme that I've been feeling since the beginning, to me, this is a good flow of energy. So I don't feel like it's someone that's going to ignore what you're saying. To me, it's like, okay, all right, I'll take it into account. So again, I feel like communication is extra, extra important in this time, regardless of the situation, whether it is work, whether it's personal, whether it's just something you're feeling and you need to get off your chest. Because the Four of Swords, if it was in the upright, it's not really doing much, right? It's like within, it's, meditating, praying on something. It's not really making much action. It's a part of taking a break as well. So when I see it in reverse underneath this Ace of Pentacles, it's like action, response, equal action and equal response. So any actions you make, there will be an equal response to it. Communication feels like it's going to open up. So again, if you've been having issues communicating with somebody, or if you're worried about bringing something up, I don't think you should, because to me, I feel like it will be received well. It's like, no, no, I hear you. I get what you're saying. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like, because again, for some of you, this could be something that's already happened and maybe it wasn't received well. But to me, I feel like the response will be kind of what you want it to be at some point. That's just how it feels. Now, let's go through and do a quick recap. So, as you can see, communication, huge part of this week's spread for you. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the Hierophant with the Four of Cups. And to me, it was two main things. Either it's somebody that's just very set in their ways, set in their thinking. This is what it is. This is how I am, and this is how it will always be. For another portion of you, this could just represent something that's on your mind. Either it's been on your mind for a long time, or it's just like stuck in your brain, and it's like I can't not think about it. Moving to the center, we have the Knight of Cups with the Queen of Cups. Beautiful, smooth type of energy. So the stuck energy isn't going to stay around. I feel like this is either an emotional talk that needs to be had where you just release some emotion, or it's a serious one that shouldn't be neglected. You should not suppress whatever it is you're thinking and feeling. Like, you need to get it out there. On to the back end, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Four of Swords in reverse, probably getting the result that you want to get. To me, it's like an energy that's well received, like equal response to equal action. So if you're not putting any action out there, you're not going to get much of a response. If you're putting a lot of action out there, you're going to get an equal response to what you're putting forth. So interesting. Lots of speaking and communicating. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, Cancer. And yeah, this is, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Cancer in the shadows? Please. Thank you. Seven of Wands, I saw this for one of the Earth signs this week, and there's a good side to this. It's a very determined card, so there could be something where Spirit's like, all right, stick with it, Cancer. Don't give up on it. Keep pushing. That's a good part of this card. But the real shadow side of the Seven Wands, it could be very combative. For some Cancers, you might feel trapped. You might feel cornered when this card is here. But to me, it's more of a warning about letting things overflow too much, letting things go from 0 to 100, because sometimes this card could be very combative. So again, maybe it's a little bit of a warning about what we're seeing here, where if you like suppress something, if you don't let it out, eventually it will come out, but not in the nicest way. So you might be best to be proactive. That's how this energy feels to me. Again, watch out for feeling trapped or confined, like you don't have many options, because I think you do have more options than you would think. But it could be really great for determination. That's the one thing I will say, where it's like, I will not quit, I will not give up. So maybe it's Spirit saying like, hey, Cancer, we're behind you here. So we're just going to put that Seven of Wands right there, my beautiful friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My digital calendar's over there, so you could go check out availability. But for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the Tarot of the Owls. It's beautiful, it's unique, and it definitely fits this season. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, for all the uses that tarot has to offer, which do you think is best? Do you like using it for love situations, personal, financial, business, you name it? You put it in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.